upgrading gear, you need to stop doing it. Now, I'm not here to say that your gear is perfect or you have the highest quality videos that you can possibly have, but sometimes we go out of our way to upgrade in ways that we don't necessarily have to. Whenever we make more money, whenever we're finding more success, the first step that I see a lot of creatives do is just buy a new camera, buy a new lens, spend more money, but that might not be the avenue to go. We have busy seasons, we have slow seasons. Now, you have to realize that. I didn't necessarily realize that at first, but that's with every business, and that was just me thinking that I was always going to be busy. That was my ego talking a little bit. So, not upgrading can make you feel a little bit better in those off seasons. You might want to consider renting things. You might want to consider just figuring out how to use your gear to the best of your ability. Now, a little story time of my experience in this. So right now I am shooting on the EOS R5 and I pretty much use the 24-70 every single day whenever I'm shooting. I love this setup, and whenever I say this is my setup, that's what I mean. I don't have anything else. Maybe sometimes I'm throwing an ND filter on the front so that I can keep my settings dialed in like I want to, but that is it. Now, I'm not even joking. People laugh at me whenever I show up to a shoot, but whenever I show them my footage later, well, you can't tell it all. I might as well have a huge camera rig, but that's not how my style is. I see people with these big handheld rigs, and that's not me. I might have my camera on a Ronin, but I don't really consider that much of a rig. It's a Ronin S, the base one, and that's just how I work. Now, whenever I was shooting with this R5 and the 24-70 at a shoot one day, some people were walking around with these big Komodo rigs, Blackmagic rigs, and on paper, yeah, their footage should probably be better than mine, but I shoot the whole thing. It was a basketball event, and I shot it to the best of my ability. With the R5, having the ability to hop back and forth from photo and video, getting some photo bursts that pretty much end up being video at the end of the day. Well, if you have a Komodo, if you have a Blackmagic, you can't do that. So I'm walking around with my little rig, just handheld, doing my thing, not bothering anyone, minding my own business, getting these shots, doing the little ninja walk, because I didn't have my gimbal for some reason. I think it might have been a time thing. Just walking heel toe, trying to get those stable shots. And I submitted my shots, and my shots were primarily used in the video edit. And that's even compared to a bunch of other people that were using better camera rigs than me. And my buddy John made me laugh and walked up to me. He said, "Dude, I would never in a million years guess that your footage looks like it does. It doesn't even make sense. You're walking around kind of looking like a fool with no build out to your camera, a small body, small lens, but your footage still looks money. This comes down to me knowing my gear. And this is what I mean by you don't have to upgrade. Yeah, I have a nice lens, I have a nice body, and they're not cheap. But this setup is so simple. You could achieve the same footage that I am with a EOS R, which is what I was doing in the past. Your video resolutions might not be as great, and maybe that's why you need to upgrade, because you're being held back by the specs. But I think most of the time, people jump to upgrade and then don't really know where to go. Whenever I rented the R5C, I didn't really know how to use that new cinema setting much, because that's what the interface is. I had a conversation with a guy at a camera store, a local camera store. I'm taking my GH5 in to get cleaned and just talking gear with them a little bit. And we were talking about the R5C a little bit, and he said he loved it. And I personally love that camera. If you haven't seen my video yet, go back and see it. But I love the camera, but that interface is just hard to get used to. Now, this is me just being picky and being stubborn because I don't really want to switch the whole interface that I know how to use. But whenever I say I could shoot with my R5 and my 24-70 with my eyes closed, I mean it. Maybe that's a photo challenge I have to do, but I could really get to any setting with my eyes closed roughly. And be pretty confident that I'm there. My mind can be in a million other places while I'm in a shoot, getting pulled around, and I can still switch settings on my camera and know what's going on. And I'm confident with my ability to still get a quality product. Now, there's something to genuinely knowing your gear. My friend Brenton, who might be on the podcast pretty soon, he's the one that helped me on that Benzie golf shoot. That Benzie shoot was really cool, and he used my camera for the first time. He's a Sony shooter, and he's also looking to upgrade cameras. He was asking me my preference. As you know, I'm a Canon guy, but he was a Sony guy. Didn't really know the interface on my camera, so I had to, guide him and help him a little bit, but he knew camera settings at the end of the day. So I was trying to point him in the right direction of where to upgrade, and I was pointing him in the direction of Canon, but it made sense because he ended up upgrading to Sony. All these cameras are pretty much the same. Do what you're comfortable with. Now, obviously, some cameras will be better for other things, but I genuinely believe that if you know your interface, if you know how to use your camera, well, you're going to get a better product than other people that don't necessarily know how. And it might just come down to efficiency. If you can do a shoot that would take somebody who doesn't know their camera 2 hours in 1 hour, well, people will probably like you. I know I've gotten compliments in the past that people like that I'm all business whenever I'm on shoots. I think that is something that people need to get better at. Photographers like to dilly-dally a little bit, but all of the successful ones that I know, they're always moving. They're always trying to get the next shot. There's no, hey, sitting around. I even know photographers that won't sit down and eat lunch during the day because they just want to get the shot. They're there to shoot. I'm not there to eat. I can eat later. And that's probably not the healthiest thing in the world. But at the end of the day, I think there is something to that. Now, Brenton, as I was mentioning, ended up upgrading to Sony. And the Sony camera pretty much has the same specs as the R5 or the R5C, like I was saying. I think you went to the A7S III, and I mean, it's a beautiful camera. The quality you can get out of it is really, really good. And there's no arguing that. So whenever you're upgrading, I would say step back and think, do I genuinely need to upgrade? Did something break? That's always a good time to upgrade because you need a camera. But if you're still capturing quality content and people aren't complaining about your footage being low resolutions or not to the quality that they need it to be, what's the point of upgrading? Don't waste your money. Save it, and maybe just save it for that rainy day fund whenever you're having a slow month. Because I think that a lot of people stop doing freelance and stop doing their own thing because they're just not keeping their money wisely. They're not spending it wisely and saving. They're always waiting to get this growth and maybe buying this expensive camera, and then a pandemic happens and the work isn't there anymore. That's where the problems lie a lot of the times. And I'm no financial advisor, but I have found throughout the years that whenever I'm upgrading gear too much, it doesn't help me that much. So anyways, I will see you guys Tuesdays and Thursdays. I release these podcasts and then an edited video later in the week. I'm considering stopping down to one podcast a week. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think I should do that, but I do like these commentary videos, and I think it is good to show my personality outside of the edited videos. Anyways, have a great rest of the day. I will see you in the next episode. Goodbye, my friends.